Team Baxter.
I'm starting the CC-01 build. I'm just going to go through and note some of the things that I thought were interesting. I'm going to start at the beginning. The first step, they want you to start assembling the motor and putting the pinion on. And like I said, I'm going to point out some interesting things. First off, it's interesting that the kit comes with a motor, but there's a plastic shaft on the motor that I can't get off. It's covering the actual metal shaft, so I'm gonna have to cut that off. Secondly, they give you a pinion spacer that allows you to place the pinion exactly where they want it to drop onto the motor mount, drop into the motor mount, and drop into the chassis. So I thought that was pretty cool. I actually filmed the pinion going into this. You place this over the shaft once you get this big piece of rubber off, and then you flush the pinion to the back side of this, and that gives you the exact specification of where they want the pinion to be at. So I thought that was pretty neat. The parts are super easy to find, just like I remember the Tamiya plastic model kits being. For instance, here's parts bag A, and all my metal parts are in this, and the manual states that this is on parts tree A. I go into the box, get parts tree A, and snip it off. This is A4, and it's clearly labeled on the plastic. The part sprues in the box are even in alphabetical order, starting from the top going down. So parts tree A is at the top, parts tree B is below that, C, D, E, and so forth. It's ultra convenient and pretty easy to find the parts you need. Here's the pinion installed with the little guide in there. As I said before, you put the guide over the pinion, draw the pinion to the top of the guide, and then tighten the set screw. And that gives you exact dimensions on where your pinion needs to go. Just thought that was pretty neat. I've never seen that in any kit that I've built before. I got the motor attached to the motor mount along with the small piece of paper they call a motor mount that's sandwiched between the motor and the mounting plate, the plastic mounting plate. Maybe this is to stop vibrations, or I'm not quite sure, but a little piece of paper goes on there between the motor and the motor mount. Also, the motor did not come with the second insulative coating on the second terminal, so I'll be putting that on. So I got the front differential screwed together, and the screws aren't going flush. I think I've got them down as far as I can get them, but there's still a little overhang. I may have to adjust that when I drop it into the chassis, but we'll see how it goes for now. I'm continuing with the gear assembly. Now I'm at the point where they require me to put these plastic bearings in here, also metal bearings shown here. These are something I'll be changing out for ball bearings. These are rubber sealed ball bearings from Traxxas. I always soak my bearings in loose oil and light oil before installation, blot them dry on a paper towel, and then put them in. As I said, these go in place of the metal and plastic bearings supplied with the kit. This is not required, but something I do anytime I run into plastic bearings or bushings, just for longevity and better operability. So I got the 3 gearboxes built, and now it's time to start dropping them into the chassis along with the cover plate that goes along with it, and that will close up the transmission. The motor also gets installed during this, and then the only access will be from the bottom to install the transfer drive to hit the back. I just lubed the spur gear, which is probably not a good idea. I'm going to take steps to remove that grease from that spur gear, but this is a mistake. Do not lube your spur gear. It'll get onto your pinion and just make a nasty mess. Maybe a light bit of lubrication, but not this much. So I got the transmission cover in with 4 Phillips screws, which suck. And that's it for the motor and transmission.